Our topic today is enhancing brain function, and our guest is researcher Dr. Deborah Yurgelun-Todd, who is with the University of Utah Medical School. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Yurgelun-Todd.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I know that you have done a lot of research using a specific natural substance known as acetylcholine. So let's start with the basics. What is acetylcholine, and how does it influence our brain?
Well, acetylcholine is a choline-containing compound, and it's made up of choline and cytidine. And the reason that it's important is, as you mentioned, it is a natural product, and it has been shown both in animal studies and in human studies to have a variety of effects on the brain, and in particular on attentional processes and memory processes.
So these benefits include memory. What about focus, concentration, things like that?
Right. Well, the concept attention is sort of a global one, and there are many different cognitive processes or thought processes that go into attention, including ability to inhibit, ability to focus, ability to sustain attention. So all of these are impacted by acetylcholine.
Okay, that sounds great. So can you describe some of the research that you specifically have been involved in with acetylcholine?
Sure. Our research dates back quite a ways now. Started off in the East Coast over a decade ago, where we were interested in elderly populations and looking at the potential neuroprotective or neuroregenerative effects of acetylcholine, and we were documenting differences in individuals who had been treated with acetylcholine compared to a placebo. More recent work has focused on middle-aged individuals, healthy, normal middle-aged individuals, and we have been looking at the extent to which acetylcholine, in this particular case we use Cognizin, which we are very happy with as a pure acetylcholine product, to examine whether or not specific doses of acetylcholine will impact cognitive function in healthy individuals. And our studies found that yes, both the bioenergetics, that is the brain metabolism, is impacted by supplementation with acetylcholine, and as is the response to food cravings, as is attentional capacity. So in other words, we've had a series of studies that have shown us that if one is supplementing their diet with Cognizin acetylcholine, that we can see these differences in brain response.
Okay, and I just want, because this is audio, I want people to know that Cognizin is an ingredient, and it's spelled Cognitin, and that is the specific ingredient that you are using in your studies.
Right. We use Cognizin for our studies, and that is what we're really examining, yes.
And now what about children? And there's a big, with kids not being able to focus. What about that application?
Right. Well, this is a fairly exciting new direction that we're going in. We were very pleased to see that even in essentially healthy adults, we could see these improvements in attentional focus. So the question arose, would we be able to see changes in children and adolescents if we supplemented their diets with Cognizin acetylcholine? So we're now engaged in a fairly large study of healthy adolescents to see whether the same effects will hold true in adolescents.
That's great. Well, we'll be anxious to see the results of that one, hoping that they are positive. Now, what dosage do you recommend for general brain health?
This is, again, a really interesting question you asked, because original doses for acetylcholine were in the 2,000, 3,000 range, mainly because they were oriented towards populations who had medical conditions or illnesses. But we now have shown most recently that we see a positive effect with a dose as low as 250 milligrams per day. So I would suggest that individuals go anywhere between 250 and 500 milligrams per day. All of this will be dependent on individual sensitivity, but these low doses have shown to be effective.
Yeah, and I do agree that that's very exciting. And the fact that your research includes healthy individuals, and you're still getting enhancement in brain function, I think is very exciting. Now, are there any interactions, warnings, anything that people should be aware of with acetylcholine from that standpoint?
So far in our research and in our reading of the other individuals' research, we have not identified any serious side effects or concerns with the administration or supplementation of cognizin or acetylcholine at these doses that we're using. At very high doses, there are individuals who reported some side effects such as stomach upset. But the doses that we're using, we have not had any reports of any problems at all.
Right, and that's certainly at the dose of 250 to 500 milligrams a day.
Right, exactly. Okay. And this is we're also in the process of considering adding this to treatment as usual in other study populations because of the fact that there is no side effect profile associated with this.
That's great. So what does the future hold for acetylcholine?
Well, I think that we're considering a number of different directions. I just mentioned that we're going to be examining responses in the adolescent and the younger populations. We're also considering adding this to treatment regimes in individuals who have other psychiatric and neurobiologic disorders. And third, we're looking at combinations of natural supplements that we think will give you the best bang for your buck, so to speak. In other words, we know that certain products enhance certain neurotransmitter systems or certain pathways, and we're looking at different compositions to see how we can maximize that.
Yes, and I know that one of the combos is the acetylcholine and a fish oil. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct. Omega-3 fatty acids, right.
Yeah. Great. Well, this has been very exciting. We're going to stay close to you in the coming months and hope that you will update us every now and then on your research. And I just want to say thank you again for joining us on Wellness Times.
Well, I was happy to do it, and I'm happy to share my information. Thank you so much.
Great. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.